Hey guys, it's Facelanks here, and I'm bringing you my first video on this channel. I really hope you will enjoy my content, since this channel is planned specifically for Dying Light fans, so if you are one, consider subscribing and giving a big thumbs up on this video to show your support. It means a lot to me. Now, let's get straight to the topic of today's video. Should you buy Dying Light in 2021? Is it still worth it? Are there better options out there? Is the game even fun? These are all the questions you might have asked yourself in the past, but today you will get my opinion as Dying Light player for 4 years now, and with the new Dying Light 2 update video we will discuss later if it's better to wait for the new game or just buy this one. But please, let me know in the comments if you disagree with anything I say, because we're all here to help each other out and hear each other out. So anyways, let's talk about, is Dying Light worth it in 2021? Quick disclaimer guys, at the time of making this video, we didn't know when Dying Light 2 was coming out, but since we do know, right now it will say on the screen, things change. We know when the Dying Light 2 is coming out, everything else I say still stands. Alright, peace out. I will tell you a little bit about the game. Dying Light is an open-world first-person survival horror game for PlayStation 4, Xbox One and PC. Players assume the role of Kyle Crane, an undercover operative sent to infiltrate the quarantine zone in the historic Turkish city of Harran, during his mission to find Kadir Reis Suleiman, a political figure gone rogue who has a file that could destroy the reputation of his agency, but when he arrives, he must decide between completing his mission or helping the other survivors who are being led by Harris Bracken. Now that you know the basic description of the game, I think it's time to get into the details. Let's start with the protagonist, Kyle Crane. As we already discovered, Kyle Crane is a GRE undercover operative who was sent to Harran by the GRE to recover a file that could destroy the reputation of his agency, but we already covered that. So let's get into his character. He's the type of guy who isn't afraid to put his life on the line for the greater good, as he took on dangerous missions assigned by Bracken in his community, missions that will make their life easier in these hard times. Voice acting done by Roger Craig Smith is phenomenal and on point. It may be the best voice acting that I have ever heard in a first-person game. You can listen to some examples now.
You goddamn stupid fucking kid! Oh god. You got to be fucking kidding me!
I knew you could not resist, Crane.
Oh, would you just shut up? You're the last thing I want to hear.
As you can hear, he really put his emotions in his character, and it shows. To sum it all up, I think Kyle Crane is an interesting character and fun to play as, since he has a lot of fun lines and is a good protagonist. For the protagonist Kyle Crane, I would give him a rating of 9 out of 10. Now for the story, not the strongest point of the game, but it gets the job done. I'm not going to spoil anything to you, but all I can say is that the story is average. It's not really good, but it isn't bad either. All I can say for the ending is that they really messed up a boss fight, since it's basically a quick time event, which does not fit in well with the game. For the story I would give the rating of 6 out of 10. Now let's get to the most important aspects of the game, the gameplay. Oh, the sweet gameplay that has kept me going for almost 5 years now. The beauty of parkour, hand-to-hand combat, and well, firefights, which are meh. Now what you need to know, and this is important, in this game the best feeling there is a sense of progression, which is so well made that it will just make you go wow. At the beginning of the game you will be slow, weak and scared, but the more you play, the more you level up. You will become more agile, more powerful and more knowledgeable, as there is a crafting system in this game, which is kind of 4 out of 10, but here's what I mean by that. Let's say you're in a combat and you run out of medkits. The only way to get more is to pause the game, go ahead and press enter for every medkit you want to make, and to be honest, in this game you will need about 200 to stop worrying about it. If there only was an option that says to make as much as you can or make a certain amount, the flow of the game would go much smoother, but we all make do with the current crafting system, and I guess it's not terrible. Also, the big aspect of this game's gameplay is the parkour system, which is honestly the best one in a first-person game I have ever seen. When you roll, climb up buildings, jump off the building, and all that good stuff, it doesn't make you dizzy. You can play the game for hours and not feel any nausea at all, which is awesome. Also, maps are a big part, since it needs to have flow in this parkour-themed game, and they did just that. The game has such a good flow and map layout that it's just beautiful. Even if you don't have the grappling hook unlocked, you can still move pretty quickly thanks to the map design. Next and final aspect of the game I want to go over in this video today is the combat system. There's a lot to go over, but I will go over it in 3 categories: melee combat with the infected, melee combat with other people, and firearm combat in general. So let's start with melee combat with the infected. At the beginning you won't have as much option in the melee combat as you do when you level up. When you start up, you really have to do is just spam left click to hit zombies and kill them, but as you level up you have much more options. You have the grapple, which grabs the enemy and throws it in one direction, the drop kick, then there's the stomp, the sneak attack, all that good stuff. And all I have to say is the melee combat is really fun when you have more possibilities, which you get as you level up. So I will rate melee combat with zombies 10 out of 10 because of all the gore, the possible body part dismemberments and all that good stuff. Moving on to melee combat with other people. There are a couple of human encounters at the beginning of the game, and they're hard to deal with. For some reason the humans are so hard to kill in this game. Like for example, you will use a hammer, right? You will hit him in the head multiple times, you will hear his skull cracking and breaking, but he will not fall or die for some reason. They also deal a lot of damage and are next to immune to throwing weapons. If you want to hit him with a throwing star or similar, you will have to time it perfectly or they will just block it. So for the melee combat with the other people, I'm giving this topic a rating of 7 out of 10. Would be 10 out of 10 only if humans weren't so strong in the beginning. Later on in the game, they're just like biters, harmless unless they have a gun. And that brings us to a final topic of this video, which is firearm combat. Firearm combat is, let's say, average. I say average because weapons in this game are kinda overpowered, and if you have at least a decent aim, it's a one-shot headshot, which is realistic, but it makes the game so much easier to play. For sake of your experience in the overall game, I would suggest to use guns only when you absolutely have to. For me, gunfights in this game are 6 out of 10, but only because they make the game so much easier. But gunplay, gun sounds and effects are 10 out of 10 definitely. But if you want to keep things interesting for yourself, just stick to melee combats. It's so much easier, it's more fun, and it's just overall better. So that was it for this video. I briefly went over the game and explained how it works, rated my experiences, and you even saw the background gameplay of the game so you know how it feels. By the way, let me give you a little piece of free advice. If you want to buy the game, please, for the love of God, buy the enhanced edition, not the standard one. It's a bit pricier, but the content you get with the enhanced edition is priceless. You get a ton of outfits, blueprints, DLC such as the following, Bozak Horde and Haram Prison, which are awesome, and the following DLC is like a whole different game, as you have a new map, a new story, a whole new ending to the game, and I think that it's worth paying a few extra bucks in my opinion. So anyway, that will wrap up my first video, starting with should you buy Dying Light, and my answer to that question is hell yes, you should buy the game. I know that Dying Light 2 is supposed to come out this year or in early 2022, but to really enjoy Dying Light 2, you should play Dying Light 1 and experience the game first. It is so much fun, especially if you have a friend to play with, or friends for that matter. The experience in the co-op is a whole new different level. I highly recommend it, but if you are playing it alone, you will sure have just as much fun. So make sure when you buy the game, hit me up on my Steam account so we can play a few missions together if you want. My Steam profile will be in the description of the video. I hope you enjoyed my video, and if you did, hit that like button and subscribe since this is my first video on this channel, and it would mean a world to me if you could show me your support. Without further ado, FaceLang signing out for now. See you in the next video. Peace.